So there we go. Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Dave Fanale. I'm here for our weekly live broadcast called Real Estate Talk, TGIF, which is, thank God, it's Fanale. Yes, it is Friday as well. It's 11 a.m. Eastern, and I have a great friend and a great guest here with me today. It's Grant Wise. He's the founder and president and of everything at Real Estate Marketing University. Just a great man, just a great guy. This guy he created the blue ocean for Facebook ads, and everybody else followed. Not that he invented it, but he perfected it and went on. So I talked yesterday on my quick live about getting a transaction for every $60.65 you spend on Facebook ads, and I figured we'd start there, Grant. We talked about this. You've talked about it on other lives that you've done and broadcasts and other emails you've sent out. Talk to me about the $60.65 point.
So thanks again, A, for having me on the show. I appreciate it, and I watch it, love it, and I love what you're doing. Being able to sell a house for $60.65 spent on Facebook is an actual result of a client of ours, Lindsay, out of Indianapolis, and she is killing it. She's sold 24 houses ever since she started using Facebook ads, and those are kind of some of her results. And that number, that $60.65, that changes from customer to customer to customer to customer to customer, and from student to student to student to student. We have one of my very first clients in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. She sold a house for every $40 she spent in Facebook ads. We have clients in Florida, Orlando. They sell a house for around every $25 that they spend in Facebook ads. And then we have clients that have a higher cost of acquisition. We got Matt in Georgia, spends $119 to sell a property. That is the formula basically for your ATM machine that you want to create in your business. And this is the way that I think everybody should look at business: is how much does it cost me to acquire a customer, A, and how much am I willing to spend to reach my goals, B. So if I want to sell 60 houses, 50 houses a month, or let's just say I want to sell 10, I know that I got to spend $600 a month in marketing. It's no more complex than that. But there's some traps, I think, that happen with, and this is something I'd like to spin off on just for a second, is that
Sure, please do.
We always tell people, these are the types of results you can expect. What happens is most people stop thinking about how cyclical the real estate industry is. It's like, oh, okay, well, I spent $60 and I didn't sell a property today, right? That's typically the mindset of someone that, at least someone not working with us. And when we come in, we try to change that. But what you have to understand is you're going to front end spend for 3 months. You're going to spend $1,200, $1,800 more before you start to see the dominoes start to fall. And where real estate agents make such a significant mistake is saying, I spent $60, didn't sell a house. I spent $600, didn't sell a house yet, didn't get a check yet, and therefore I'm shutting this whole operation down. What happens is in 3 months, 2 months, 3 months, the checks start to roll in. And then they look at their deal tracker and say, man, all these deals came from Facebook. And then they say, crap, I got to go turn all that stuff back on. And they then go back, they turn it back on, they spend for a month, say, this doesn't work like it used to. I'm going to shut it all back off. And then they just ride this vicious roller coaster that seems to take place. And if I could give you probably the best piece of advice, we got so many people that run Facebook ads now, is figure out your cost of acquisition, understand you're going to spend money for 3 months before you start cashing checks, and don't stop. You'll create such a consistent machine that will help you predictably and sustainably scale your business.
I think one of the interesting points you make is that this stuff doesn't work. I mean, so many times in all my years as a broker owner, heard that, right? So you talk about a process. I'd have a business meeting with the agents, and that doesn't work, or that doesn't work, or you talk to other agents all over the country and stuff. I tried it for a little while, it didn't work, and people don't understand. Even today, right? Even today with anything, if it doesn't work right, if it's just such instant gratification everybody's looking for. I mean, if we were looking for instant gratification, I don't know if there'd even be an internet or we'd even have a light bulb, because it takes time for something to work and you have to be consistent with it. unfortunately, when there was that thing called a newspaper, I don't know if you remember what that was or ever saw one. It was this big piece of paper that was folded. It supposedly had news in it, but you had to pay, like every issue, you'd pay like $500 for an ad. Like say it was a weekly, right? So you'd be paying $500 every week, and they wanted you to be in there. You got to be in there. You got to be in there so people keep seeing you. That's the same thing with Facebook marketing and social media marketing. Just being consistent and staying in there and stop looking for instant gratification. You see the same thing, I guess, as you just said that. But what would be other things that people could use just as little tweaks and stuff along with their social media marketing and Facebook marketing along with that, Grant?
Okay, so what I am talking about, selling houses with Facebook ads is a formula. It's a really simple formula, and it takes really 3 basic steps, right? So I'm going to run through these really quickly, and I'm going to give you kind of a glimpse and insight into why this works so well. What your customers, the people looking to buy homes or sell homes, what they're thinking. All right. So the first thing that we need is a way to capture leads, right? So the tool in this situation is Facebook. If Instagram worked better, I'd probably talk to you about Instagram, or if YouTube or LinkedIn or the newspaper, right? I'd talk to you about whatever the tool, the tactic that we got to leverage. I would talk about that. So right now we're talking about Facebook ads. We need a way to capture leads. The reason that companies like Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, Redfin, all these other big listing sites are dominating, and I mean dominating the marketplace, and have for a long time, is because they're appealing to the customer's first interest, which is not you. And that's a significant mistake that agents make, where they try to brand this big pretty face that they have to be able to help facilitate the real estate process, but it's the furthest thing from the consumer's mind. You're the last thing that they're thinking of. Real estate agents build businesses in reverse. Well, people buy houses in reverse too, right? They look for the property, then they realize they got to talk to you. Then you make sure that they realize they got to go get pre-approved, when the reality is they should have got pre-approved to start, then contacted you, then went and looked at properties, right? We do the same thing in a lot of ways, but I digress. A customer goes through 3 basic phases of awareness. They go through their unaware phase, which means they're unaware of their desire or need for the real estate process, whether that's buying or selling a home. Now, you might be thinking like, yeah, I understand that. That's pretty basic. But the reason your radio ad doesn't work, the reason your billboard doesn't work, the reason wrapping your car doesn't work, the reason all these big branding campaigns don't have any, it's different from direct marketing. The reason you're not getting such a direct impact is because what you're hoping is that you're going to throw a piece of advertising at 100,000 people and just hope that somewhere in that big pool of people, there's somebody that needs to buy a property. Whereas Facebook allows us to take that 100,000 group of people and narrow it down to 40,000 that we know are looking to buy a property. And that way, only those people are seeing our message. So we don't have to worry about educating the marketplace on why they need to buy a home. Eugene Schwartz wrote a book called Breakthrough Advertising. It's where we get a lot of these theories here. And he said you could spend millions of dollars trying to educate the customer on why they need you, and the only thing that you're going to end up with is a bankruptcy, right? You're going to run out of money because you can't educate the public on why they need you. The only thing you can do is leverage desire. And in a lot of cases, you can't even create it, right? You can only leverage it. So if you look at companies like Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, these big companies, these big conglomerates, they're going after the consumer's first interest, which is it's awareness phase 2, right? It's the second level of awareness when it comes to real estate consumers, which is home aware. The client is interested or aware of their desire and interest in the real estate process, whether buying or selling. This is where we capture leads. So when we run a Facebook campaign, our first objective is to hit them where they are and getting that, offering up that homes list so they opt in. Then they become a lead, right? Now we have a name, a phone number, a physical address, and we have people that we can talk to in our business. This is very important, right? That pulls us into the second part of our formula, which is remarketing, retargeting, which is huge. And it's very, very significant things that are a very significant thing that real estate agents that are spending money on Facebook aren't doing in retargeting. If you go buy a product or look to shop a product on Amazon, you don't buy that product, David, what's the first thing you see in your Facebook newsfeed whenever you leave Amazon?
You're seeing that product there.
Absolutely. That product, right? Right. Well, where retargeting is so powerful is that we're capturing the lead from that second into that third phase of awareness. So when we marketed a homes list, we gave them what they want, what they thought they wanted, and what they thought they needed, right? What we also did, if you did it right, is we introduced them to us. We introduced ourselves through a thank you video or an email or something like that. Now, prospects are in this third phase of awareness. They're home plus you aware. They're aware of their desire for owning real estate or selling real estate, and now they're aware that you can help them. Now, statistically speaking, the consumer chooses the first agent they talk to. Okay, this is just talk to 79% of the time. They choose the first agent that they meet 86% of the time. So if you can very simply talk to these people, the odds are heavily stacked in your favor. And when you get them in that right phase of awareness, it's no different than the old days. You see something in the newspaper, you go look at the property, you meet the agent, you develop a relationship. Right. Well, the way that we build relationships today is just a little bit different, right? And we do that through remarketing. And if you're doing it like I teach, you're doing it through video marketing. Everybody always says, if I could just get in front of people, I know I could close them, right? Because I can build a relationship. Yeah. I can show them that I, dress the part, that I drive the nice car, that I do all this stuff, that I love my family, that I have these political beliefs, that I believe this, I have these religious views, whatever that looks like, whatever building a relationship looks like. The dynamic has changed now so that an agent can create all that video content and basically just start remarketing it to the prospect that's looking for a home. So a lead jumps into your system. Not only are you going to go through the third part of the formula that I'll jump into in a second, but you're going through that second part where you're retargeting them and you're building a relationship with them immediately. And this is powerful stuff because then they get to see you. They get to see how you act, how you express yourself. They get to see how you dress. They get to see if you're a mom in a minivan or you're, an agent that's rolling around in a Chevrolet, convertible. Whatever that looks like, they get to see who you are and figure out if they like you or not. They don't have to tell you by rejecting you, right? They don't have to tell you by not talking to you anymore. They very simply look at your content, decide if they like it. If they don't, they move on. If they do, they move forward. And what's so powerful about when they move forward is all the selling is done, okay? When it comes to selling houses, in a lot of cases, you're an order taker, right? You write down what a prospect wants. Okay, you want this house, you want this house, you want this house. I'm going to go back and find this for you. What you are selling is yourself. And when you're remarketing in a really powerful way with video content, all the selling gets out of the way. Right. So then when a customer comes to meet you, they already know that they like you. It's called a parasocial relationship. It's a one-sided relationship that the prospect's building with you, even though you do not know that they exist. It's the same thing that happens, ladies, when you're looking at George Clooney, right? You're building this relationship, everything about him, or for me, it's my all-time favorite actress was Jennifer Aniston, still is, love her to death. Right. So I know more about Jennifer Aniston. I've followed her. What's that?
I'm there.
Yeah, I'm there. If Bridget, if you're watching this, I love you more than her, just so you know. There's nothing going on there. Right. But we build this one-sided relationship with a persona that we see on TV. Well, clients do the same thing when they see you behind their TV set. Their TV set is this device that they hold in their hand. I got one kidney left, David. I donated mine in 2012. I think you know that. I'd rather give up my last kidney than let you have this cell phone, right? So if you understand that you could show up on somebody's device day in and day out, their TV set, you become famous to them, right? You become that persona that they fall in love with. And then that pulls us into our third part of this formula, which is just conversion. Being able to convert leads, having a proven sales system, having a proven sales process, a checklist that you go through every single time you get a new lead. we teach people to follow up at least 8 to 12 touches within the first few hours of them becoming a lead. Do that for 3 days in a row, right? And you will be blown away at what happens to your conversion. So hopefully I didn't go through all that stuff too fast. It's a lot of content to absorb.
No, I think the biggest thing for everyone to be aware of and to see is really simple, okay? It goes back to they want to work with people they know, like, and trust. And how do they get to know you? Well, you have to be present somehow, some way. You know, getting out there. I mean, like you said, you can't sell anybody a house. And I've always said that. You've got to sell yourself and your personality and just your manner and, you know, just what you are and who you are, right? Anybody who sells a house, chances are that deal is going to fall apart before it even gets into contract. You know, in New Jersey, we have this attorney review thing. So that's 3 days. So I'm not sure that's everywhere, but, you know, it's going to fall apart there because you sold the house. Now, yes, you can go into a car dealership and get sold a car easily. It's been done to me, it's been done to others, right? But not a house. A house is too emotional because a house is bought with the heart. And the heart is what's going to learn how to know you and going to like you. And because of your expertise, they're going to trust you. And that's what all of this is about. The odd thing about this, and I take that back, it's not even odd, it's that nothing's changed. I've always said the business hasn't changed. It's how we do the business has changed. You know, when I did my course, the SOI method, I talked about the old ways and the new ways. Well, guess what? They all still work, right? Would you agree with that?
It's the principles of business, of marketing, of sales, of anything that never change. They never waver. It's merely the tactics, the ways that you leverage those principles that can adjust. Sorry to jump in there, but yeah, 100%.
I'm glad you did. I mean, it's and like circling completely back to Facebook ads, and that's, I mean, it's not only the ads, it's the post, and everybody thinks, well, I've got to put an ad out there that's going to get somebody their information to me. And I think, and I hope you'll agree with this, is that a lot of times what you're putting out as an ad really isn't looking for information. It's just to put yourself out there to a larger group of people rather than people on your timeline. Would you agree with that?
It absolutely can be. It can be 100%. If you're trying to just create awareness around who you are and what you do, you can very strategically put yourself in front of the 20 to 30,000 people in your market that are looking to sell a property, which gives you a strategic advantage because nobody else can knock doors that fast. Nobody else can cold call that fast. And what's, you know, even more relevant to that is nobody can do it for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365.
Right. Exactly. I mean, if you're going to, you just can't do it. You're just not going to be there all the time. You know, I don't know if there's people, if you have any questions or anything, please bring them forward and let us know if you have any questions, say hello or whatever. We're sitting here talking with Grant Wise, Real Estate Marketing University, the expert in the field of Facebook marketing and marketing yourself in the real estate business and what it takes. If you had like the most important thing to tell someone about marketing themselves and doing the real estate business, what would it be?
I would say that, you know, marketing is oxygen and sales is lifeblood for your business. You can't succeed without it. And there's a slow way to do it and there's a fast way to do it. And you can take your precious time and you can work your sphere. I recommend that 100%. But what I am a fan of doing is injecting steroids into, you know, your business so that sphere grows tremendously, grows overnight. What takes people 2 or 3 years to accumulate can happen for you in less than 2 to 3 months. Now, I don't advocate using steroids, right? We got Mark McGwire hitting home run records. We got Bonds doing his thing, right? I don't advocate, but you see how it increases your performance. It gives you a strategic advantage. That's why it's outlawed in sports. Well, there's nothing in marketing, nothing in real estate that says you can't kind of cheat a little bit to give yourself an unfair advantage. And if you are out there and you are spending money on advertising, you're giving yourself a strategic advantage. And my probably last point would be, don't get caught up in this trap of because when I doesn't exist. They say that someday doesn't exist, yada, yada, yada. And I hear this every single day. When I make this much money, I'm going to be successful. When I do this, I'm going to be this. When I do this. Success does not come from money. Okay? Money comes from success, right? There's a mindset shift that has to take place. And the reason I'm saying that is because a lot of you are sitting out there like, well, I've got to do this and spend my time because maybe my money's a little tight. I don't want to be uncomfortable. I don't want to be this. I don't want to be that. You're paying however it is that you think you're growing your business, however it is you're growing your business, whether you're paying with time or money. I don't feel like my time can be purchased. I'd rather let my money work instead of watch my time work, which is why I run so many advertisements for our business and why we help run so many advertisements. Because if you sat down and realized that you make, I don't know, $75 an hour, $100 an hour, $400 an hour, whatever, and you can really simply give yourself kind of a mathematic formula to say, okay, look, it takes me 3 days knocking doors, doing it 8 hours a day to drum up a sale, right? So then your cost of acquisition just simply changes, right? Then
right.
It's still a math equation. So if we take 75 an hour times 8 times 3 days, that means you're spending $1,800 in time to go out and procure deals. When I was just talking to you about a client that sells a house every $60 she spends, that has a system in place that works for her 24/7, that collects leads while she sleeps, that sells houses while she's hanging out with her family, right? So who do you want to be in business? You got to ask yourself that question, but get out of this mindset of thinking that when I do X, X is going to happen for me, because it's a flawed way of thinking and it's never going to help you create any real change.
I think if you change that mindset, people talk about your why, you can achieve and really be consistent and congruent with yourself with the why. One, by being authentic, and number two, you can have, like you said, like when I get this and when I get that. Hey, you know what? You could achieve more of those when moments, which are when I get this, and guess what? You've just achieved that because you put the time in, you got to change your mindset, and you've achieved your wins. So, I mean, through having your why, you can get a lot of wins, but a lot of W's. So sorry about that. But, Grant, I know you've got a lot of online training and coaching courses. Is there one in particular that you think would be beneficial to most on this topic for people? Yes. And how could they get that?
Yes, I have a 90-minute training that it's an in-depth deep dive into everything that I just talked to you guys about. I just put it up in the comment section. It's go to whitley.net/marketing genius. It is it's a 90-minute free training on everything that I'm talking about. Deep dive. I show you ads. I show you retargeting strategies. I show you conversion strategies. I show you exactly how Lindsay did what she did, and I show you exactly how the thousands of other agents that we've helped are replicating that through that 90-minute training. You should be able to. I had somebody stopped me at an event in February in Orlando and said, "Hey man, I just want to say thank you because through some of your free trainings, I was able to make over $100,000 last year." Right? So these trainings are very, very, very valuable. And if you want to know more about what I'm talking about, you want to know how to create serious leverage in your business, that training is exactly how you can do that, and it's free. So there you go.
That's fantastic. I want to thank you so much for coming on. I know you're really busy and stuff, and I know that through my experience with you and working with Real Estate Marketing University over the years, it's just been phenomenal. I mean, it's changed my life and made me, I think, younger. Actually,
oh, that's good. Yeah, we got you doing the Benjamin Button thing. I like it.
Yeah. So I mean, I just think the world of you and your company, and I think it's great. I mean, I would suggest everyone, on this that sees this eventually should go to that Willie.net/marketing genius to get more information. But Grant, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. Yeah, and look forward to seeing you again and planning a lot more things when we'll talk soon. Thanks a lot, man.
We'll see you soon. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, bye. Peace.